Hey guys, we're here. It's another new NXT After Show. We will be going over NXT Underground, Roxanne Perez versus Blair Davenport. So many other things are going on in this card, and once we get back, we will start going over it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hey everybody. I don't know why my thing was like muted for that long. I was like, wait a minute. What's up everybody? Happy Thursday. Hope you enjoyed. If you celebrate the 4th of July. I really don't anymore, at least. But if you do celebrate, I hope your 4th was amazing. I hope whatever you did, if you had your day off just to relax and chill, you got to do that. But we did have a new episode of NXT. I am Katrina, a host and creative in Captain Trust, and also one of the hosts and writers of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Hey. And I am joined by my 2020 twin, we're like the most favorite duo ever, like everybody's favorite duo. But my co-host, Shayna, how are you today?
I'm good because I'm not dead, so it's going good. How are you?
I mean, it's been a rough week for me. I'm not feeling my best. Sinuses got me all messed up, guys, but I am happy to be here. Again, it was a super interesting episode of NXT. I was like, okay. And I'm sure, you was particularly happy. Happy about Eddy in NXT Underground doing his thing. And so it's stuff happening. We're excited. But let's, I guess, get right into it. With our first matchup between Blair Davenport and Roxanne Perez. And so we know Blair has been responsible for some of the not some, all of the women kind of being attacked during in the NXT parking lot. NXT parking lot can get real. And she was doing that. And so Roxanne wound up attacking Blair. Thank you. Thank you. Roxanne wound up attacking Blair before the entrance, which I was with it, So they kind of had to fight through some smoke to get to the ring. I kind of felt a way about this. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like, well, I do like Blair Davenport, and I think she's a fantastic wrestler. I don't know how I felt about it feeling like she almost picked apart Roxanne. And it kind of made me feel a little bit of a way. And this is not even discrediting it, Blair. I feel, again, Blair is a fantastic wrestler, but it made me feel like Roxanne was just like completely out of her league. And I think that bothered me, because if she's able to take on Miko Satomura, she could take on Blair Davenport. And I think that bothered me. It just didn't seem like there was any continuity with that. Like, you took on one of the best wrestlers, women wrestlers, one of the best. So Blair Davenport, all of a sudden, it's just not, and I didn't really understand, and maybe it's an emotional thing, and maybe that's why she wasn't doing it the way I normally see her wrestle, but I did feel a way about that. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I didn't particularly like that it seemed that Blair, it was kind of one-sided, honestly. I do think that Roxanne tried really hard, but it made it seem like that she was outmatched. And I really don't know how to feel about that. I do think, though, as we did say, that Blair kind of needed this because she was gone for a little bit. There was a moment during this also that Blair sent Roxanne into the steel steps and then did a Falcon Arrow and almost ended the match there. However, with that being said, this match wasn't as long as it probably could have been to open, I guess. And I do think Roxanne needs to change her approach. But Roxanne, unfortunately, did lose this match. Blair did a pair of V-triggers, and Roxanne lost, and Blair got this. So, yeah, I do think Blair needed to, win it just because she was gone, but I didn't like that if you see, that's the thing, her being called up, you can't be called up and then you're getting picked apart by somebody who's not even as good as me. That's my thing. It makes it confusing. Where is she supposed to be? Where is she supposed to be at, like, level wise? I think that's my issue with it. Like, I get that I've been saying this. Blair shouldn't have lost this because she's been gone. Like, you can't have somebody take down everybody in NXT locker room. She has her first official match and then lose it. So that wouldn't have made any sense. But in regards to making Roxanne seem like she didn't really know what she was doing, did not make sense. And nobody gonna spin that and try to make me believe that that did not make sense. She took on Miko Saramura. I'm sorry, no. Miko is clearly Miko Satomura clearly got, is a little better than Blair Davenport. And so to have her go from fighting somebody to all of a sudden seeming really confused about where she belonged bothered me. That's all. I do think Blair should have won it. It just annoyed me slightly that I didn't understand, why it seemed like she didn't know what she was doing. Like, that was what it was. It was just like, why does she not seem like her A game? So that was my issue I had with it, but I do think Blair should have won it. I just felt like it would have been nice to not have it look like Roxanne was just there, getting beat up. It was basically what it seemed like. But yes, that's what happened to open up the show, and so I'm assuming they're gonna still have you can't do all that beating somebody up and or at least jumping somebody before the bell rings, and then it ends even with her losing, and so I feel like it's probably gonna go on at least another week or two. I do feel like they're gonna feud a little bit. So yeah, that's how it opened. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
So my thought is, I definitely agree that I saw it felt like a different Roxanne, even though she was more aggressive. It just felt like she was off. And my thought process is, from when she had the title and she gave it up and versus this, she's someone who she's either gonna be better or worse when she's working off emotion. Clearly with the NXT run, emotion and whatever she was going through, that kind of affected her, which made her, relinquish and all that. And so my thing was maybe it's the same thing with this. It's she's so emotionally bothered by Blair because, of what Blair's been doing. And so she's just not locked in like how Roxanne would usually be locked in. So that's kind of I was oh, I guess I could kind of blame it on that. If they go that route, I think that would be the best way to explain it away. So it doesn't make Roxanne look, too weak from the loss. Say, hey, you know what? Blair has her head completely gone. She's playing crazy mind games, the tweets, the finding her backstage, beating her up. She's just not in her A game. And so it's affecting her in ring, even though she's more aggressive. But sometimes being more aggressive is not always for the best because you're working off of emotion. You're not working off of logic and being locked in. So yes, I definitely agree Blair needed the win because she just came back, and it would just be absurd to just have her lose. That would be I would be so what was the point? For months. This is months of with the parking lot stuff. It would have been crazy. But then also it's Roxanne already was still trying to climb back up after how the whole title situation happened, and it just felt like it's been rolling downhill lately. So I'm hoping for a change in trajectory for Roxanne because I am such a fan of hers. And she's so young too, so she still has so much time.
Yeah, I think that was my thing. It's not that, because I do see it's an emotional thing, and I get that she's young. It just felt really off to me. She was why is she this off her? She's been in triple threat matches. She's been in the match with the Mandy, and that was a clean kind of match. That was the Mandy's for the first. I was okay, she's actually not doing shenanigans what Mandy was doing during that time, and so it made sense to me. She didn't even do this even with Cora, just she didn't even seem this emotionally bothered when Cora backstabbed her. You know what I mean? I feel that's what I'm not understanding. I was that was supposed to be your friend, your girly. But then, all of a sudden it's okay, well, I mean, I guess, I don't know. It just felt really odd. And I've seen enough of Blair's matches to know this wasn't a match where she had to really pick apart her. Where it was maybe somebody who's more submission, you have to pick apart. This wasn't one of those matches where you would have to pick somebody apart the way she did. That it just didn't make sense to me, but I guess we will see what they do with her. I just felt it made her seem like she literally just got to NXT yesterday, and that's what they gave her. And I didn't particularly like that because she was a champion. Okay, that to me, that's all I'm saying is you can't like. I don't know. I wasn't feeling why it seemed off to me. But moving on, there was a next matchup which I actually truly enjoyed with Mustafa Ali and Tyler Bate, which I thought was an absolutely fantastic match. Where they really fought through it. I enjoyed it. Now we already knew this was gonna happen. Since Mustafa seemed a little bit too what's the word? He seemed a little bit too eager when he first got there in regards to this whole title situation, even with the whole friendship where it was kind of weird with Tyler kind of going against West too, but they were kind of still friends. It was kind of that weird thing that was happening. He seemed a little too, extra, but I really did enjoy this matchup. I thought it was some really solid moments that happened through it. There was a moment where Mustafa like leapt into like the Bob Bang. And then I think Tyler Bate was trying to do his Tyler Driver, but wound up doing it to STF, which I thought was really solid. Tyler also pulled Mustafa into like an airplane spin, and then Mustafa kind of reversed it into a DDT, which I thought was really solid moments. And so again, you know what to expect from Tyler Bate, you know what to expect from Mustafa Ali. And so this was a fantastic match. I thought they both really killed it. And it wound up being to the point where Mustafa wind up tripping Tyler pretty much onto the top rope, and he hit a 450 splash, and he did win the match. And he did say that he wanted a shot at Wesley's title at the Great American Bash. And I feel like while he still wasn't necessarily full out heel here, I think he's kind of in the middle. I really feel like he's kind of tweening it a bit. Like, I do think, well, I said this from the very beginning. I love Mustafa Ali, but he was a little too gung-ho for me. So I'm like, oh, bro, try it. Like, he was too gung-ho about it. So I think it was a good match, but Mustafa clearly wants the title. This was obvious from the very beginning. He does want the title, so he did win the match. I thought it was a really fantastic match between two guys who really know how to wrestle. And I guess we will see. Hey, congrats on your new job. Congrats, that's awesome. But yes, so I guess we'll be seeing him and Wesley at Great American Bash. I do think he might really pull out. I feel like he's still kind of tweening right now. He's not full on heel, but he's clearly has the tendencies. It's clearly there. And so I think it's gonna be good. But I do think that's when we're gonna really see some heel stuff. I feel like that he's waiting for that, honestly. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Congrats on the new job, Wilson. My thoughts is they ate up so bad. When Mustafa did this one move, I've never really seen anyone transition into a crossface like that, like in my life. If someone else has seen it, you know what? I'm happy for you that you've seen it more than once. I've never seen that. And I was just like, you know what? Shout out to you, King. But yeah, Mustafa's like, I can't even read him. Like, I don't know. Are you heel? Are you face? Like, what are you? Like, I need to know so I know how to move forward. Obviously, I really wanted Tyler to win because it's time. I've been wanting Tyler to take the title off of West for it's been at least 2 months. It's been at least 2 months. And it's too much. 2 months too much. They need to add Tyler to that match if they do. Because again, Mustafa, he had way too much involvement in his last match. And it would just be fair. Honestly, Tyler could win. Mustafa could win. Like, I feel like Wes has done a lot for the North American title for sure. But I just think it's time for someone else. Like, I'm ready for a new champion. And I feel like Tyler or Mustafa are like the best choices. I wouldn't mind if Mustafa had the title. Like, yes, he came from the main roster. So what? Give him something to do. He's so talented. He doesn't need to be like sitting on the edge somewhere with nothing. Like, it's literally insane to me every time. I'm like, how do we get to this point? Like, I really like Wes. That's the thing. I'm sad. Like, I don't want him to lose, but it's like, it feels like it's time, but also it's not time. Like, I can't explain it. Yeah,
No, I feel you.
Yeah, like, it's like it's hard because I love him, but I think it's time, and I think it should be a triple threat.
I agree. I like Wesley. I do think he really put, like, after, Carmelo lost the belt and it was that whole thing. I like Wesley, and I do think he put extra oomph to the belt. Like, I love Carmelo as the champion as well. I thought Carmelo did his thing, but I felt like Wes added an extra je ne sais quoi, after that. With that being said, I'm okay with Tyler Bate winning. I am. I love Tyler Bate. That is my guy. I've been a Tyler Bate fan for very long, and I've been wanting. And I'm like, I don't want them to fight, but also, if he's champion, I'm not going to be upset either. I'm not going to be like, goddamn, why WWE? He is somebody. I would perfectly think he will give amazing ass matches as well. I think he would also do his thing as champion. So I'm okay with West dropping it to Tyler Bate. I like Mustafa Ali. I do. He's actually one of my favorite cruiserweight type wrestlers in WWE currently. I've always said this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they really did him well on the main roster all the time. But maybe do you need to come back and win it right away after being kind of like he's clearly being a little sneaky, because clearly that's what he's doing. Not necessarily. I feel like Tyler Bates, you can give us this. Like, if you want to give it to him a little bit later on and have Mustafa stay a little longer down there, so be it. But I will be perfectly fine with Tyler Bate getting it. That is my guy. And again, always give the bangers of the match. So we'll see. But we'll see. I definitely wouldn't mind Tyler winning, and I like Wesley, but I'm like, dude, it's like you're gonna have to take this moment of me being uncertain. Like, I'm sorry, dude, I'm sorry, but also, and see, that's the thing. It's like, I'm gonna assume maybe they brought him back to help get him a belt, because they don't really know how to do with him on the main roster. Yeah. With that being said, though, Tyler Bate has been down there doing his thing, and I feel like and that's where the dilemma. I like all three of them. But Tyler Bate is literally my guy. He is my guy, and so I would perfectly fine with him becoming, like, I'm okay with it. Like, we'll see. And I do agree to your point about making a triple threat match, because Mustafa definitely interjected himself in matches for no reason. Yeah. I wouldn't be, opposed to it being a triple threat match. Let the best man win, If West happens to lose it, or they decide, like, swerve us and he keeps it anyway, well, he's doing his thing with the belt. He's definitely has been making sure it's one of the most, like, showing its importance in NXT. But yeah, moving on. We did have, before I guess move on. So there was a two little segments. First one being there was a vignette of Baron Corbin talking from his home about he wanted to change the image of himself. His mission was pretty much change the image of himself in NXT. And then there was also a segment where Ivy now was having an interview, and Tiffany Stratton did come and interrupt, and Ivy had to tell her, she can make her, that she would make her tap out if they fall. So what are your thoughts on those segments?
Ivy girl, you need to worry about your boys. Worry about your boys right now. Let's not talk about all that extra stuff, all that extra rigmarole. All right? Keep on that right now. Tiffany's outfit, yeah, she was eating real bad. I just had to say she was. Yeah. It was giving Britney Spears hit me, like, not hit me baby one more time, but oops, I did it again. It was definitely giving oops, I did it again. I just had to say it. Baron, child, I don't even know what he gonna do. What is you gonna come back and do? I need to know, because it's been a few years now. If you was gonna come back and do it, you would have came back and did it. But we'll see, I guess. Let's see next week what you coming back with, and it better not be no TV in your hands. I don't want to see it.
Girl, but I'm like, no, Barrett. Like, Barrett. What do you mean? You've been boring me for years. So boredom. Bored. Okay? Baron Corbin has been boring me for years, and now you want to change? Be real. I was like, you know what? You could have stayed at home, on the 4th of July, you could have stayed at home. And not give us that. We didn't ask for that. We did not ask about what you're gonna do. I'm not, and as far as I have to agree, well, I don't like Tiffany. Ivy, I feel like Ivy, like, sis, sometimes you gotta know where the place is. You gotta know your place. What were you doing this whole time, Ivy? do what you needed to do, you was gone. You was not doing what you needed to do. So I feel like this is not the time to be talking smack and you wasn't even handling your business previously. Like, ma'am, you wasn't even handling your own business. I feel like in this regard, maybe don't say anything. Like, do you know how I have to feel? I have to defend Tiffany? Like, I don't have to defend, I have to defend her because you're talking shenanigans. Like, ma'am, like, let's not act like, you know, you was doing all these great things and you was wrong and you wasn't doing great. Like, in this regard, you probably could do a little better, and you wasn't. You were so worried about the diamond mine that you was doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so I feel like, get it together. Get it that all I'm saying is they need to, I don't know what's like why, but see, and this will never probably happen again. So I hope you guys reeled it in. Hope you held that dear to your hearts, because I'm not gonna do that again. But I have to defend her because I'm like, ma'am, what are you talking about? Like, this is the one time I'm like, you know what, Tiff, okay. I'm like, damn, now I gotta agree with you. Now I gotta agree. I don't want to agree. But yeah, we'll see. As far as Baron, even if we bring back the Lone Wolf, it is too late for that. He's been, again, boring me for years. Even when he was happy Corbin, I was annoyed. Like, literally, I was just like, I mean, I guess, like, he's happy. When he was sad Corbin, I was like, yes, because I don't care about your happiness, Baron Corbin. I don't care. But moving on, we did have a matchup with Kalani Jordan, who was accompanied by Dana Brooke versus Paxley. And so I just want to say, I was really digging Kalani's little, I was like, okay, sis, you know, get your outfit thing happening, get it on, hang it in there. I enjoyed the outfit. It reminded me of our colors, women's wrestling talk, you know, purple and pink. I was digging the costume. But yes, it definitely, I thought somebody else, if it was you or somebody else said on Twitter, they were saying that season of Tough Enough, when it was like the veterans, the veterans with the ones they were training, and I was like, you know what, it kind of did give those vibes with Dana Brooke. It kind of gave the vibes. See, I'm just, listen, and the fact that I had to do it is insane. It's insane. But I thought this was a really solid, like, matchup for what it was. I thought Tatum, you know, worked hard. I thought she tried. I really did, and it wasn't as long as I wanted this match to be, unfortunately. And it's more so just me, I guess, from being like, you want to see women's matches, you want to see them do their thing. It wasn't as long as I needed it to be, but I thought it was solid for what it was doing. I thought Kalani literally was showing, like, if we can kind of keep this going, she could very well be somebody you might have to watch out for in NXT at some point. You know, I don't want to say she's going to be a threat right away, because I think she still needs a little bit of work, but I do think that we're seeing that Kalani can very well be one of the top people in NXT. And that was obvious. I felt like Tatum, and it's weird because I think Tatum, you know, is like good. And I felt like she really did, but I felt like in this, I was like, okay, all right, sis, okay. And then it makes you kind of sad because, you know, only one can win, but you kind of want to see, like, both women thrive, but also it's like there can only be one woman that wins this match. And so, this was like, I want to say, like a 2-minute match. And Tatum did get most of the offense, which is why I guess it was a little surprised, but Kalani did a stun dog millionaire, I believe that's what it's called, and she did win her match. And so after that, Cora Jade did have some stuff to say. She did come out during this, and pretty much just, you know, warned Kalani that she chose the wrong friend in Dana Brooke. But then when Kalani kind of challenged her, she kind of backed off. So I was just like, okay, well, again, these are one of those scenarios that if you're gonna talk some smack, don't back away from it. Have Cora learned nothing? Has Cora learned nothing from all of this? What happened the last time you was talking a lot of smack? What happened? What happened? I just feel like if you're gonna come out on the mic and say, you chose the wrong friend. Okay, Draco Malfoy. That's what he told Harry Potter in the first movie. You know, when he picked the Weasleys, and he's like, you chose the wrong person. Well, okay, Draco, Cora. Okay, well, what are you gonna do about it? You did all that, and then she said she's gonna fight you, and now you want to back up. Don't talk smack. Not if she talking smack and not backing up. She not. I'm just like, if you're gonna do all that, back it up. That's all I'm saying. So you're gonna come out there and make some threats. Then now stand up to it. You better talk your shit and stand up by everything you said. You be the person. If you got beat up, okay. If anybody's ever seen Basketball Wives with Carmella when she got beat up and then she was like, "I'm still pretty" after she got beat up. Same vibes. You better keep the vibes all around. Keep the vibes. Like if you're gonna talk shit, back it up. That's all I'm saying. But listen, if she shouldn't have came out there, you could have said that from the back. If you want to talk smack, you would do it. Baron Corbin did. Give us a video from home, okay? You don't want to mess up your outfit. You wanted to stunt for the 4th. You want to stunt for the independence or whatever. You want to do that. Do that from home. But don't come out there and then leave after you talk some smack, okay? Before she gets that happen to her, and then she's gonna be sitting there looking. Okay, like. Bella got all beat up, but she said what she said, even though she got beat up. Like, just gonna have those vibes. So I'm saying, but yes, I am interested to see what Kalani does. I do think that if you're already halfway with Dana Brooke, you already kind of got her feuding with Cora Jade, that she could very well be one of the top NXT women at some point quite soon. But I guess we'll see. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
Oh my god, I'm obsessed. I just love her look. I think she's so cute. Like, she's just so adorable. Like, and just like her moveset is like, it was giving me life. When she ran the ropes like that, like the speed with which she did it, I was like, oh, give her flowers. Give her flowers already. I'm ready. I just was really into it. I like her style, and I think she could go extremely far. Like, easy. I mean, come on, easy. I feel like her and Tatum gave a lot in this match, even though it was, I know you said it was like 2 minutes. I feel like they both gave a lot. And can I just say, I'm kind of I get more intrigued with Tatum every week because I feel like she's figuring out what's the look that she wants to go for. Every week, her look and whatever character she's trying to morph into, it becomes more clear, and her makeup and the detail and her gear, it just becomes more clear. Like, she's getting more comfortable in figuring out. And I was gagged this week. Like, she looks great every week, but this week I was floored. I was like, girl, you better post. You better have 50 photos in your phone right now of this look, because this look, my gosh. I was sad that she lost because I do think she's really, really great. But it's like, obviously someone has to win. And clearly they're trying to do something with Kalani and Dana. And then also Cora in the mix. So I'm sure there'll be a match with them coming up soon. Whether it'll be sometime in the next few weeks or it'll be for the Great American Bash, who knows? We will see. But I think that'll be a really, really fun match. I think Cora will be a great matchup for her. Even in defeat, I think so. And Cora, she did look great, though. I gotta say, the outfit was given.
No, she was dressed well. She was.
Yes, but
she usually do for the most part. There was like 1 week I was like, I guess, but most times she's on it. It just.
Yeah, I think she was doing her thing.
I just
Cora,
like,
regular Cora things, but she'll be good. It'll be a great feud. It'll be a great feud. So I'm excited.
All I'm saying is don't talk smack and then you walking back. Because now I'm like, me. Like, let's take this to the parking lot since you want to talk shit. Now I'm gonna follow you to the parking lot. I'm gonna play this game. Okay, I'm gonna follow you. Okay, ma'am, you got my attention. Now I'm gonna follow you. That was what I would do. And that's why I'm not a wrestler, because I would not be following anything, any shenanigans. I'm like, first of all, I'm not doing that. You're not gonna talk to me crazy. I mean, I don't know what. No, we're gonna have to disagree there too. She should have stayed. She should have did Corbin. She should have sent her video package in. She should have zoomed in. She should have did a Zoom call and be like, you know what? You picked the wrong friend from home. We didn't need to see her do all that. And you know what? It looks like that's what we're gonna go, and that's what she's gonna deserve if she do keep doing shenanigans. Cause like, don't be talking smack and then you lose it. It's like, let's Let's not do that. But again, hey, I do think, like I said, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. It sucks for Tatum. Just because it's like, oh man, you want her to do well, but also we'll see. I feel like I like that we are getting more women though, and so hopefully that means we get some more like real some good action happening with the women on that. I do think we're gonna get that, and so that's good. And so there's a couple segments after this. The first being Andre Chase recognizing that Dia Hall and Duke did great work in Chase U, and then realized they're gonna take down Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak. There was also a segment where Carmelo and Trick challenged Judgment Day to meet them in NXT next week, and Finn did accept that challenge by the end of the night. We also had Lucian Price and Bronco Nima announcing that they will debut as a tag team next week on NXT. So what were your thoughts on those segments?
I'm glad that there's some order back in Chase U, because I don't know what Duke was doing. I can't. And that poor student got cursed out. That poor student. I mean, he did ask a stupid question, because why would we bring Drew and Charlie back after they just try to put hands on your headmaster and your MVP? Why would he do that? That doesn't make any sense. So I get it, but they could have been a little bit nicer in the way they cursed him out. But I definitely was like, this university has already failed this guy, because this is the dumbest question I've heard all day. Lucian and what was the other one's name? Lucian Bambino. Who was it? Is it really?
My mic was taking mad long to unmute. I was trying to unmute it. My bad. It was taking mad long. I was like, but yes, it's Lucian and Bronco. It's Bronco Nima.
Because why I said Bambino, fight me. Like,
Bronco, yes, Bronco.
I actually feel like that sounds better. But yeah, they're very hyper in the car. I wanted them to calm down a bit, because they was jumping around the car a little too much. I'm like, the red light is near, so just pull it back. But I'm excited. I think that they'll be great, and they got a good look about them. They're very hungry. And what was the middle segment you said? Because I jumped over her.
The Judgment Day, pretty much being challenged to come to NXT, and I know how you got Finn. Your Finn love. Like
Carmelo, if you want to get beat on again, then you could have just said that. You don't have to say all the extra rhetoric. You could have said, Finn, I want you to come back to NXT to beat on me. And he would have said, fine. All the extra words you added in was just not necessary.
I love, though, like, I know you like Carmelo, but when it comes to Finn, it's like on, that's all off. You're like, no, I don't care now. I love it. The energy is always the same with Finn. I love it. Your energy never changes. And you like Carmelo. You're like, nah, not over Finn. Not over Finn. But yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm excited to see what they can do. We could have used that energy going to Chicago. After we got, I mean, not that the lady wasn't good, she was great. She got us there safe and sound, but maybe that energy would have kept me from being really stressed, because I was stressed. We were stressed getting to Chicago. They had that energy. We might have needed to get past those red lights and that long stretch of roads and farms and cows and everything we were seeing going to Chicago. But yeah, otherwise, I'm excited to see what they're going to bring as well. Listen, they don't want. See, that's the thing. I know me, and I will have to really change certain things in WWE, because person got one time talking me crazy. I'm like, excuse me, let's do this.
Listen, Finn and the word desperate have never met. They've never met. He doesn't even know. Like, if you said the word to him, he'd be like, can you pull up a dictionary? Because he's never been desperate. It's never been desperate. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I'm glad you got to eat your food. Listen, I had no 4th of July barbecues. It's sad. Okay, somebody gotta get it together. I appreciate you guys. You guys really be hyping me up. Thank you. But I know me enough that they will be mad at me, because the person got like just talking to Tiffany alone. I'm like, you know what, ma'am? Because I don't care. She's gonna say some nonsense, and I'm like, I don't really care about any of what you're saying right now, because you shouldn't be champion. And then here we are now. I'm arguing, and now I'm gonna have a job. And so, You know, and like Baron Corbin, like I can only imagine he said some nonsense like that to me. I'm like, bro, if you got my face, and now here we are. And so I have to get myself together before I can take that job because, you know, I know me. I know me. Just I'm just saying, man, I got one time. I'm like, you know what, bro? Nobody cares. We don't care. We don't care about what wolf you bring in. You know,
so funny.
Don't care about it's a werewolf. I don't care about any of this. Don't care.
I could literally see myself antagonizing someone who's about to have a match with Finn. I was like, why would you attack him though? Like, why did you?
That's another thing. If I like a person, man, let's say, like, first of all, what, like, Blair, why? You just want to be in parking lots just waiting, like unemployment? I don't know what's happening. What's going on? That's just what I would have said. And so here we are. But of course, Ron. But moving on. So we got to see some, if you guys remember Raw Underground, we got to see some NXT Underground. And I did like, you know, people didn't really like Raw Underground. I actually did. I thought it was kind of cool. You know, Shaving Man wasn't irritating my soul too much, as he normally does. He wasn't irritating me when he was doing Raw Underground, and so I was hyped. But I know somebody was extra hyped because we got a matchup between Eddy Thorpe and Damon Kemp. And so it was it definitely gave. I really, really, really enjoyed this. And so obviously before the matchup, the ropes were removed, the lights were lowered, and they made the talents from the Performance Center, NXT, kind of surround the ring. Again, very Raw Underground vibes. Damon quickly got Eddy to the mat pretty quickly. I also thought there was a moment where even when they were outside, Damon used the women outside to distract, which I thought was smart. I thought was actually, and Gable did get into Damon's face, which I was like, okay, all right. I actually really like enjoyed this. I thought it was really good considering I didn't think we were gonna get an underground type situation again. Anytime I didn't see that happening anytime soon. I thought it was good. I thought again, Eddy with his, you know, tidy, you know, in areas where it needs to be correctly. I was like, okay, I'm watching. You know, I'm getting a little side eye. I'm watching a little bit. I'm watching. But it was really, really well done. I thought I really enjoyed it. I thought that Damon did dominate the match mostly. I really think he did. And it was kind of weird because we know that, you know, clearly Damon and they're like, aren't they like brothers or something like that? And so it's kind of weird that they're kind of not saying it, but we know, and so that was kind of weird. That to me it was weird. But Eddy went after Damon's right arm and found that opening. Eddy didn't put in a triangle chokehold, and then he like kind of beat him up with like elbow strikes. Again, really, really well done. And he wound up winning this match by a technical knockout. And so clearly, you know, I don't know if this is going to be like a common thing with them. I don't know if they're going to keep it up with them in this, but I do think it was a solid, you know, matchup. I do think it was. I was with it. I don't know how anybody else is feeling, but I thought it was good. I thought it was well done. And I kind of want to see some more. I really do want to see some more NXT Underground. And I wouldn't even mind seeing Eddy. You know, I felt like we got really close to him with the ropes down. I was like, all right, Eddy, I'm watching. Again, I'm keeping a little side eye, a little like, you know. I was like, okay. I was feeling the vibes. But otherwise I enjoyed it, but Eddy did get the win. What were your thoughts on this matchup?
I loved it. I think the way that they went about it was just I just really enjoyed how it all kind of panned out. I will have to say, you know what, Mr. Shawn Michaels, I appreciate you because you saw that it looked very Like for me, it felt like if they went the route of, because I felt like they would. I mean, because it's like that's his brother. Like, what am I supposed to think? Like, why wouldn't I think that maybe you're setting him up? But he didn't go that route, and I respect it because that would have been the easy kind of like predictable route. So he didn't. I do agree. I think Joseph said a little bit earlier. It felt like the match felt more centered around Gable than it did like Damon and Eddy, which I obviously wasn't that big of a fan of because I really, really am such a fan of Eddy Thorpe. And I'm a fan of the Diabolical Teddy Bear as well when he's not going after my faves. But yeah, it just felt like a lot. But hey, that suplex is crazy. I gotta say, I can't even hate that suplex. Yeah, that was crazy. Eddy, I'm glad that he came on the top. Period, as he should, because like Diabolical Teddy Bear, what did you think? And leave him alone, and don't come knocking on his door again. Leave my favorite DJ alone. Leave him alone. Don't come back. Yeah, I really enjoyed it though. Great match for sure. I wouldn't say it's like the most amazing match, but for me, from what I remembered from Raw Underground and stuff, this was definitely I liked it the most. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I definitely think if they do it again, I don't think they should do it all the time. I think it should only be certain people. Also, I feel like it worked for them, honestly, to be in that kind of gritty type setting. But we'll see. It was kind of weird though. See, like you guys, like we all know they related, and so I was a little bit weird about that. It was a little bit weird. But before, guys, we get into the rest of NXT because there's a couple of more matches to go. We here at Women's Wrestling Talk got a whole bunch of amazing shows with a whole bunch of amazing hosts. And so let's hear some words from our good old boss lady CEO, TK Trinidad.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw Post-Show, WOW Post-Show, AEW Dynamite Post-Show, Women's Wrestling Army Post-Show, NXT Post-Show, Impact Wrestling Post-Show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live Post-Show, On the Scroll, ROH Post-Show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
As TK said, we have a whole bunch of amazing shows. On Thursdays alone, we have 3 shows. On Thursdays, just on Thursday as it is. And so definitely, again, we love you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us every week. Some of you guys every day. We love you guys. And so moving along, we did have some more women's action with a matchup between JC Jane versus Lyra Valkyria. And so this was decent. it was decent. I felt like the crowd was pretty much saying that Gigi was better. I definitely heard that, during that. But I don't know for me what was missing. And I felt like it was something. JC did try to go after Lyra a few times in this matchup. She tried really hard to kind of keep her grounded, but I think that's what makes Lyra, different, and why she was probably one of the people who made it to the finals was because she has more of a grounded pound type of wrestling style. And so this wasn't that much. And again, it's unfortunate because I felt like something was missing, and I'm not really sure if it was like maybe it wasn't enough intensity or enough heat. I'm not really sure. But JC tried her very best, to keep Lyra down. However, Lyra wind up doing a roundhouse kick to win this match. And then JC afterwards would attack her and then do her is it, I think, a black wings. I think I'm probably pronouncing that super wrong. Her black wings, you know, I guess Lyra's wings when she was doing what she was doing. And so, yeah, that was pretty much the match. Again, I felt like while Lyra did win the match, I felt like JC was carrying it more, if that makes sense. And it was weird to me that, you know, it felt like she was carrying the match even though she didn't win the match, and I don't really know how I feel about that. And I don't know if it's like, maybe, I'm guessing because this is a feud, after doing all that, she lost and attacked her. So it's clearly going to get in a matchup between the two of them. I do think that something needs to change. Somebody needs to be something, but something felt like it was missing. And again, you know, JC was the one I said, if you're going to go about the hierarchy of people in toxic attraction, well, JC was kind of the one at the beginning. Let's call a spade a spade. And so I don't really know if I want to even say that her steam was up with the feud, because I feel like I truly did not care about her and Gigi feud, because it just didn't make sense to me. Like the route they took to it, I was just like, I mean, I guess, and I was over it. So I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but I guess we'll see. I do think it's gonna clearly have another match because of what happened after the match. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Roderick, I definitely agree with this, because I feel like what they're doing now is just trying to build Lyra up. I feel like Lyra took a lot of damage to, you know, I guess like her credibility to be taking a title off anyone, and I feel like they've been trying to build it back up for a little minute now. Like, look of even when the whole thing for the tournament for the women's title when Tiffany won. No, we kind of counted Lyra out. No one was like, oh, Lyra was gonna get to the finals. No one was saying that because she had took so much damage, like her booking. And so I just feel like now they're trying to build it back up. And I don't know if that means that maybe they want her to take the title from Tiffany, or like, where is the end game for it? Because we can't have another her getting here to just be because it's like, it's a waste of time to, you know, have all these people go, you know, put her over for no reason. I think JC is super talented in the ring. I think she has a great hold on her character. I can see a lot of similarities between her and Cora Jade sometimes as well, like just how they go about things. I think they'd be a really cool tag team if they would have go that route. I'm just saying, like, I see a lot of similarities there. Yeah, this match was kind of like here and there. It wasn't terrible, definitely wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't what I envisioned, because I think that they both bring a lot in ring wise. And it's unfortunate that now that she has broken Lyra's wings, she will have to be running through the woods like she does to transport herself, because as Jeffrey said, she can no longer fly because she broke her wings. So, you know, run through the woods, run to them.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I do agree that it does affect her credibility a bit, and that's probably why. But I feel like there's a way to do it, and I guess just make it make sense. I'm not really sure how we got to this feud, but I guess here we are. Here we are. I don't even, and just to this point, I don't even know if she really got heat. It just was like, oh, mean, okay. They were saying like Gigi was better, so I don't know if she like regained any heat from any of that. But I mean, I guess, you know. And so after that, there was a couple of segments. One being that Stax and Joe Coffey visited Tony D'Angelo in prison to give him the moves that they had agreed to a match. If the underboss wins, you know, Tony will go free and the family gets a title shot. If Joe wins, Tony has to face trial. There was also a moment where Noam Dar was talking to a picture of the Heritage Cup, sadly, and Metaphor kind of told him to kind of refocus on the future. Gigi vandalized JC's office and said a note that she couldn't escape her past. And then apparently there was supposed to be a match with Von Wagner and Javier Bernal, but he was talking too much and Von Wagner decided to powerbomb him through the announce table instead. So what were your thoughts on this those segments?
Stax, you're trifling. Like, that's it. Like, nothing else. Like, you're trifling, because why would you do that? Why would you do that? And why would you agree to that? Like, that's crazy. Like, the whole time he was talking, oh, envelopes is full. Shut up. I'm behind bars. I don't want to hear nothing about no envelopes. I'm behind bars. That would have been me if I was Tony. Like, I'm sorry, because what is this? That poor phone he broke as well. That poor phone. Gigi, I called it. I'm so proud of myself. I said she's gonna throw paint all in her office. I was like, you know what? Yes. Like, me and Sean, we here. You see the vision. I figured that would happen, and I'm excited about this continuing because I do like both of them. And I think that, you know, they could really make some magic happen for sure. So I'm excited to see where this keeps going. In terms of what was the other? Because I'm trying to remember all of it.
Nomdar being sad about
Give that man back his trophy, please. Give that man back his trophy. Like, honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if they did. Like, if they just did a back around, because he made the trophy fun. Like, he did, and he just made it seem like the most important thing in the world. Like, where was Nathan this week? Where was the trophy? Like, I rest my case.
Okay, you're right. No, he definitely. I mean, like, you hurt, bro. I feel like I get it, but also you're hurt, so you can't just be. I mean, I don't know. I've never done anything really crazy when I'm fed up, because the universe usually handles it for me. Like, honestly, it just does what it needs to do. So, you know, and see, here you go, to do shenanigans. Like, no. Hey, thank you for popping in. But yes, so let's now move on to this loser leaves NXT match with the Creed brothers versus the Dyad. And so, in a backstage interview, Joe Gacy did say he was going to eliminate a problem from NXT forever. And the fight did start kind of early, with the Dyad deciding to kind of attack the Creed brothers before the match started. So before the bell even started, they did attack the Creed brothers. Why is this not moving? There it goes. Hold on, is this the right slide? Whoops, my bad, guys. Slide this on over. This was the segment. My bad, guys. This is the segment where they were supposed to have a match, but he got thrown to the table instead.
You know what? I also want to say, I don't know if you guys caught it. You see how I jumped over Vaughn? Because I said, if we don't get some progress in the next 2 weeks, I said this 2 weeks ago, I said, I don't get a progress. If we go back to the same foolishness, I'm not addressing it. This is the foolishness. We're back with this again. It's getting old. It's getting old.
Yeah. I do want to say, because the picture is up, Booker T's fit. Now, I just for a minute, let me just, just for a minute, I just want to understand, when Booker T decided to come into work, did he literally get off the grill at that very moment? It was like, you know what? I gotta go to work. You guys just keep the hot dogs on point. Make sure the chicken and the ribs are done perfectly. I gotta go to work. He was in a wife beater, like he's about to beat somebody up, like literally, like he's about to beat somebody up. And so I just want to say, Booker T, whatever barbecue you was having, clearly you paused, okay, to come to work. And so I'm gonna have to admire the dedication, because he was not ready for work. You could tell he was comfortable. But yes.
If I could comment on this right now, Jeffrey, he's getting cheered in NXT. Honestly, I'm not even trying to be rude, but that don't count for much, because they will cheer anything if they feel so fit to do it. If it translates to Raw or SmackDown, you got it. I don't see that happening. But if it does, you got it.
I'm not a fan of Ron Wachter, so I guess. But yes, I just needed to mention that Booker T definitely was like, I felt like he just left the grill and was like, my bad, guys, let me just hop in real quick before I come back and flip, the burgers. But yes, let's get to the correct slide. My bad, guys, I forgot to move the slides along. So yes, the Dyad wind up attacking the Creed brothers before the bell started, and then at the bell, Julius Creed did hit a shooting star press, which I thought was. This is why I like the Creed brothers. They're just always on it. Joe Gacy did save Reed, however, from a 3-pound, and he wound up getting thrown out by the referee, which I thought he should have. I thought, that this was done well. And even there was a moment that I really appreciated when Fowler lifted Brutus on for like a suicide dive, and it seemed like he was going to do them both at one time, which I guess speaks to how well they can maneuver even by themselves, which I thought was really really well done. And even the way they kind of presented Ivy in this, and again, and this is more so just for me, as far as Ivy being part of the presentation as part of the unit, and then we kind of didn't really know where she was because what's happening. And Ivy wound up having to take out Ava because Ava kept trying to kind of interfere. And so I thought this was again really well done. However, it was a little bit I was a little confused by this, and I'm going to explain that just because of who won. Because I was really thinking, just because we all know the story with the Dyad as they kind of wanted their release, I was a little surprised that Dyad wound up winning this. And I thought again they had good chemistry. I thought both teams looked fantastic. And at one point, it really seemed like Julius Creed was going to just win this by himself. He literally did his thing in this. However, that's not what happened. And the Dyad wound up winning this. And so this is now NXT's, the Creed brothers' NXT career is done. The audience did say thank you, Creeds, to them as they made their way, but this is their last NXT match. And so I really wasn't sure how I felt about that, just because I truly thought that the Dyad was going to go, and we was going to see some Creeds, and I guess they're really trying to move Ivy from all of this now for real, because the Creeds are going to be gone. Unless they decide her moving her up as well. There also seems to be another Schism member. Apparently somebody else in the mask. It could be Joe Gacy, excuse me. But yeah. I guess we're gonna see more about that. Because this is the person that did headbutt Julius in the first place, and they want to do the ticket to Mayhem to get the victory, and in the NXT careers for the Creeds. But again, fantastic match, match of the night for me. Fantastic match, really well done. And I don't know how. I guess because it's like I think the Creeds will do well in the main roster because they can wrestle. I don't know how well the character will work because, again, they don't do too much chatting. And so I don't know how well that would translate over, but they can wrestle. They can wrestle. And I feel like if you don't expect nothing else from them, know that they can wrestle. And so I think they will be good on that part. But I was like, damn, I did not think they were going to be the ones to leave. I swore it was going to be Diane. I was like, no, let Queens do their things. And so I was like, damn, okay. And so I guess either Ivy's going with them or they're going to have her finally kind of get released from the shackles of the diamond mine and do something. And so we'll see. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, no, really, really good match. But I expected it. Like, when you see those two names, I think, oh, okay, they're about to eat up. Yeah, because they do. The ending was shocking to me. I really didn't think, even though I feel like it is time, I feel like the Creeds have done everything they could do. And if they don't want to try and give them the, NXT titles again, it's really no point for them to be there. Literally, all they were doing, like, the only purpose of NXT at this point was just being an anchor for Ivy. Like, because I feel like Ivy was so connected to their story and their success that hers was all the way in the back burner. You know what? I was shocked that they didn't go with the, storyline of she was the one that cost them. Because, like, she would definitely have a story. She would have a bone to pick. Like, you guys are the reason that I have not been able to do anything. All I've had to focus on is you guys and your mood swings and everything that you've gone through. I'm surprised they didn't go that route. But it seems like they want to keep her face, and that's not a great way to stay face because, NXT crowd loves the Creeds. But they do love Ivy as well, so I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it, and I'm just interested to see who this is gonna be. Like, I know we could say, oh, it's body type, oh, it looks like this person, but I feel like even with Ava, when she first joined, like, they had different people doing the mask thing and pretending before her, and it was like someone who was short. The first time we seen the person with the mask, it was not Ava. I can 100% that person with the mask the first time was not Ava, so it could just be them trying to throw us off the trail, and it could be a totally different person, you know. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely agree there. It could definitely be anybody else because yeah, that first person definitely wasn't Ava. Ava has some kite to her, and she that wasn't who we first saw when they made that the first time. And so the last segment of NXT wind up being a segment with Braun Breaker coming out and pretty much talking to the NXT audience. And so Braun said he wanted to focus on, his future beyond NXT. He kind of, wanted to do more. He did mention that he beat LA Knight on his debut. And he also mentioned that he almost beat Seth with a spear after only 78 matches in his career so far. However, Ilya Dragunov did come and interrupt him, which wound up being a big brawl. And it was, and not that anything was memorable about the promos, but it was clearly, meant to start this thing because we're going to get another real matchup between the two of them. Clearly, this was going to happen. And so it wound up being this big brawl to the point that officials couldn't pull them apart. And then the locker room kind of had to come out as well. And so obviously they're really working towards this at Great American Bash. And I'm with it. I do think it's going to be, again, like if you're trying to build up to this event outside of the Wesley Mustafa Ali match and possibly Tyler Bate at it, this is a good way to do it. And I think it's going to be a fantastic match, but it wasn't meant to do anything but set this up. And I was like, all right, y'all, I'm going to have the beef. And so I don't know, after this matchup, does it mean that Braun will be making his way off of NXT, because he does seem to be more focused now on leaving NXT rather, like, I think it's beneath him. He seems to be thinking, he almost beat Seth Rollins. Mention LA Knight when not me, but people in the fans think LA Knight is the next, the thing happening. I don't really see it, but let you guys have it. Let y'all have it. And so he mentioned that clearly because the fans have been clamoring for LA Knight, and then he did, with the whole thing with Seth Rollins' match. And so I think it is setting up for Great American Bash. I think it's going to be good. But what were your thoughts to the end of NXT?
I mean, it was great. I love it. Pure chaos, Hey, who doesn't love that? I think that they'll put on a really good match. Like, I think, Braun is really, really capable in the ring. I mean, he's more than proven that by this point. And anyone saying he can't wrestle, it's just, you're just being obtuse and you're annoying me. He definitely can wrestle, and he definitely can keep up. He's proven that. And so I think that it'll be really, really cool. And I think that just like their energy that they've had has been so on point. I loved it. Yeah, and I'm just interested to see where Braun goes. I feel like this might be his last, feud, his last thing in NXT. It feels like it's nearing that time. And I just want nothing but success for him because I really do think he is so talented. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I do think this is probably his little last hurrah as well, because he started off saying he wanted to go beyond NXT. So I think he's done. But, he did have a little beef with Alan Dragunov the last couple of weeks. And so I guess if you're going to go out with a bang. So we will see. And, Alan Dragunov was going to let him get off with just saying, I'm going to go past NXT. This was clear. And I did see a comment that said Alan Dragunov got more hits. I agree. He definitely did. He definitely got more offense in it. But I also think it's because he really just want to beat up Braun Breaker. But yeah, I'm also looking forward to see how this. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. Going to be up there with the Wesley Mustafa Ali match. And I also have to agree that I can't wait to see what he does going forward. I do think it's going to be, he obviously can hang with people on the main roster as well, which I think was what they was doing that. I think they were doing that with Carmelo to kind of test that as well. It's gonna use some peace from the universe because you about to trying to get me today. Trying to get me. I see it. I see it. But that was the end of NXT for this week. So, Shay, tell the people where they can find you and what you got going on.
You can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on most platforms. You can also find me at Shay Sawyer was here on Threads. Yes, Threads. We're moving to Threads because Twitter's playing with me. And you can catch me in about a few, I think 8:30, right? We're going to be doing Junkyard Dog. We're going to be doing the Dark Side of the Ring for that. So catch us for Unpopular Review and a collab with In Cat We Trust. You can also catch me next Thursday right back here for the Women's Wrestling Army after show and for the NXT after show. 5 p.m. for the Women's Wrestling Army, 7 p.m. for NXT. Also, I will be making my return to Unpopular Review NXT after show as well. So Tuesday, you can catch me yelling at Bad Guy Jack. So yeah, I'm excited. Directly after NXT. Yeah.
And I was put that up in there, put that in the universe, because you're yelling at Braun. It happens. But yes, as for me, you can follow me on the social media platforms in Cat We Trust. Threads, since it is attached to my Instagram. Twitter for still, and TikTok, the E is a 3. I do have a new interview coming soon. We had to reschedule this weekend, got a little bit hectic. And I plan on having some more videos. I did not record. This is the one time I did not record the panel that was at Florida SuperCon. It just was a bit hectic. A lot of stuff was going on. But it was a good panel nonetheless. I was really grateful to be there. But yes, that's us for this week. Again, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. As far as him, listen, he's lucky because don't be disrespecting HBK. Okay, let's stop these shenanigans. I don't like the shenanigans. You be respectful to HBK. But we love you guys as always. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. Even with that Jinder Mahal reference that nobody asked for. We appreciate you guys for hanging with us on your Thursdays. And you guys can catch us in like 20 minutes to talk about Junkyard Dog on In Cat We Trust, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and on Unpopular Review. It's going to be all that good stuff. But we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. And we will catch you guys next week. Later, guys.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.